Every time your phone vibrates, your body tenses. Every time certain names appear on your screen, your energy drains. Every time specific people enter the room, your spirit dims. You've been calling it stress, calling it normal, calling it... But what if I told you that this isn't natural at all? What if these aren't just random reactions, but your soul's desperate attempt to warn you about the emotional thieves who've made a home in your life? These people aren't just difficult. They're dangerous to your destiny. You know that feeling? The one where your stomach tightens and your energy drains the moment certain people walk into the room. We've all experienced it, haven't we? That subtle shift when someone's presence seems to dim the lights, steal the oxygen, and turn even the brightest day into a struggle. I'm here today because that feeling is trying to tell us something profound about our lives, our choices, and most importantly, about the people we allow to shape our journey. This isn't just another talk about toxic relationships or negative people. This is about understanding a fundamental truth that can transform every aspect of your existence. Think back to the last time you felt truly alive, genuinely excited about your day, brimming with ideas and possibilities. Now, think about who was around you in those moments. Contrast that with the times you felt small, doubtful, or drained. There's a pattern there, isn't there? The people in our lives are either radiators or drains. They either radiate energy, possibility, and light, or they drain every ounce of hope and potential from our souls. This isn't about being judgmental. It's about being honest with ourselves about the impact others have on our spirit. Let me share something with you that might sound harsh at first, but I promise you, it's one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. Some people need to be loved from a distance, far, far away. The kind of distance that makes your phone look like a mysterious device you've forgotten how to use. You see, we're not meant to shrink ourselves to make others comfortable. We're not designed to dim our light so others won't feel inadequate. Yet how many of us do exactly that? How many of us have learned to make ourselves smaller, quieter, less ambitious? Because someone in our life made us feel that was the right thing to do. There are people who will never celebrate your victories because they're too busy counting their losses. People who will never support your dreams because they gave up on their own. People who will never understand your growth because they've chosen to remain stagnant. And here's the truth that might hurt. Some of these people might be very close to you. You might be sitting there thinking about someone specific right now. Maybe it's a friend who always has a reality check ready whenever you share your dreams. Maybe it's a family member who dismisses your achievements as lucky breaks. Maybe it's a colleague who subtly undermines your confidence with backhanded compliments. These people aren't evil. They're not villains in your story. They're often just scared, hurt individuals projecting their own limitations onto you. But understanding that doesn't mean you have to keep them in your inner circle. Let me be very clear about something. The quality of your life is directly proportional to the expectations of your peer group. When you surround yourself with people who expect greatness from you, who believe in possibilities rather than limitations, who lift you up instead of tearing you down, that's when magic happens. But there's a specific type of person you need to be especially watchful for. I call them the energy vampires. These are the people who have mastered the art of emotional manipulation. They don't just drain you, they make you feel guilty for having energy in the first place. You know the type. They start conversations with you wouldn't believe what happened to me today. Then 45 minutes later, you feel like you've run an emotional marathon. They have a problem for every solution. They find the cloud in every silver lining. They're the ones who make you feel exhausted just by reading their name on your phone screen. But here's where it gets tricky. And this is important. Sometimes these people are disguised as voices of reason. They call their negativity being realistic. They label their fear being practical. They mask their own limitations as concern for you. I'm just worried about you. They say, when you share your plans to start a business, are you sure? You ready for that? They ask when you want to take on a new challenge. I don't want you to get hurt. They claim while holding you back from growth. These are the subtle ways they keep you small. The gentle nudges toward mediocrity. The soft whispers of doubt that seep into your consciousness until you start questioning yourself. When was the last time something truly great came from playing it safe? When was the last time someone changed the world by following everyone else's rules? When was the last time your soul felt alive while living someone else's version? The truth is, the people who try to talk you out of your dreams are usually the ones who have given up on their own. The ones who tell you something is impossible are often the ones who never had the courage to try. The ones who warn you about all the ways you might fail are usually the ones too scared to risk success. And yet, so many of us keep these people close. We let them into our sacred spaces. We give them front row seats to our lives. We hand them a microphone and let them narrate our stories with their fears. There's a peculiar comfort in familiar discomfort, isn't there? We keep toxic people around because we're used to them, because they've been there so long, because that's just how they are, because they mean well, because they're family. But let me share something powerful with you. Our biology is not destiny. Proximity is not loyalty. History is not obligation. You need to understand something fundamental about energy and relationships. Every interaction you have is an energy exchange. When you spend time with someone, you're not just sharing space, you're sharing energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your aspirations, they're all affected by this exchange. Think about the last conversation you had with someone who left you feeling drained. What happened to your motivation afterward? Your creativity, your sense of possibility? That's not coincidence. That's energy theft. And it's time we started treating it as seriously as we would treat any other kind of theft. Let me introduce you to the different types of people. You need to start distancing yourself from after today. Not because they're bad people, but because your life's purpose is too important to be compromised by their limitations. First, there are the chronic complainers. These people have turned negativity into an art form. They don't just see the glass as half empty. They want to give you a detailed presentation about why the glass is defective, why water isn't what it used to be, and how the whole concept of glasses is fundamentally flawed. They have legitimate grievances about everything, from the weather to the way their coffee was stirred. You might think you're being kind by listening to them, being supportive by offering solutions. But here's what's really happening. They're not looking for solutions. They're looking for company in their misery. They want to recruit you into their perspective that life is inherently unfair and happiness is suspicious. Then there are the promise breakers. These people have mastered the art of unreliability. They make commitments with enthusiasm, but fulfill them with excuses. They're always sorry, always have a reason, always promise to do better next time. But not just breaking promises. They're breaking trust. They're teaching you to expect less, to accept less, to believe less in the power of someone's word. The jealous pretenders are perhaps the most subtle of all. They smile at your success while inwardly seething. They congratulate you with words that feel like paper cuts. They're the ones who say, wow, you're so lucky when you've worked incredibly hard. They minimize your achievements while maximizing your advantages. They want you to believe that your success is accidental while their failure is circumstantial. But perhaps the most dangerous are the dream killers. These are the practical ones, the realistic ones, the ones who always have a cautionary tale ready. They've never met a dream they couldn't puncture with what-ifs and but-hows. They're the first to point out obstacles and the last to offer support. They mistake their fear for wisdom and their limitations for reality. They know what makes you so insidious. They don't just affect your present, they infect your future. Every time you let someone pour their limitations into your mind, you're allowing them to paint your tomorrow with their fears. Every time you accept their negative energy, you're giving them permission to rewrite your story. But here's where it gets really interesting. And this is crucial. These people often don't show up in our lives wearing warning labels. They come bearing gifts of concern, experience, and wisdom. They present their fears as love, their control as care, their limitations as protection. You might be thinking, but these are people I've known for years. These are people who love me. And you're probably right, they might love you. But loving someone and supporting their growth are two different things. Some people love you exactly as you are, not because they celebrate your current state, but because they're comfortable with it. They love the version of you that doesn't threaten their own choices, that doesn't challenge their own limitations. This is where many of us get stuck. We confuse love with support, familiarity with growth, comfort with progress. We keep people in our lives not because they're helping us become who we're meant to be, but because they help us remain who we've always been. But growth demands change, and change often demands distance. sometimes from the very people who've been closest to us. This isn't about cutting people off dramatically. It's about quietly growing beyond their limitations. It's about lovingly choosing your own path, even when others don't understand it. Let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. Your potential is not a democracy. It's not up for a vote. It's not subject to committee approval. Yet how many of us live as if it is? How many of us seek consensus before pursuing our dreams? How many of us look for permission in other people's eyes before taking a step forward? The most profound transformation in your life will begin the moment you realize that other people's opinion of your capabilities is none of your business. Their assessment of your potential is merely a reflection of their own limitations, their own fears, their own unresolved doubt. But here's where it gets tricky. And this is where most people stumble. When you start to grow, when you start to expand beyond the boundaries others have set for you, you'll face resistance, not just from others, but from within yourself. Because we've internalized so many of these limiting voices. Those voices that say, who do you think you are? Those whispers that suggest maybe they're right. Those doubts that creep in during quiet moments, wearing the faces of people we know, speaking with familiar tones of concern and reality. Let me share something powerful with you. Every great achievement in human history was first met with skepticism, doubt, and practical advice about why it couldn't be done. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every leap forward happened because someone decided to listen to their inner voice instead of the chorus of naysayers. Think about the people in your life right now. Who celebrates your small wins? Who lights up when you share your dreams? Who offers encouragement instead of reality checks? These are your people. These are the ones to keep close. But what about the others? The ones who always seem to have a wet blanket ready for your spark of enthusiasm. The ones who respond to your excitement with yes, but, or be careful, or what if it doesn't work out? There's a truth that might feel uncomfortable, are not protecting you. They're protecting themselves. They're protecting their own worldview that says certain things aren't possible. They're protecting their own choices by trying to limit yours. Let's talk about the opportunity blockers. These are the people who always seem to know why something won't work before they know why it might. They're experts at finding problems, but novices at seeing possibilities. They've mastered the art of killing dreams with practical advice. The market is too saturated. You don't have enough experience. It's not the right time. You should wait until... Sound familiar? These are the lullabies that rock dreams to sleep. These are the sedatives that keep potential dormant. These are the comfortable lies that make mediocrity feel like wisdom. Then there are the energy thieves. These people don't just drain your energy. They make you question whether you should have had that energy in the first place. They're the ones who make you feel guilty for being excited, apologetic for being ambitious, embarrassed for dreaming big. They have mastered the art of subtle discouragement, a raised eyebrow here, a skeptical smile there. Actually, that deflates your enthusiasm faster than a balloon meeting a pin. They don't need to say much. Their doubt is fluent in body language. But perhaps the most dangerous are the comfort zone guardians. These people have built fortresses of mediocrity and want you to live there too. They've convinced themselves that playing it safe is the same as living wisely. They mistake their fear for insight, their hesitation for prudence. These are the people who always have a cautionary tale ready when you share your plans. They collect stories of failure like others collect stamps. They're quick to remind you of everyone who tried and didn't succeed, but conveniently forget about those who persevered and achieved their dreams. They make sense. Their arguments are logical. Their concerns sound reasonable. They can make mediocrity feel like wisdom and limitation feel like love. Has anything truly remarkable ever come from being reasonable? Has any dream worth achieving ever fit neatly within the boundaries of other people's comfort zones? The truth is, the people who tell you to be realistic are often just expressing their own fears. The ones who tell you to be practical are often just justifying their own inaction. The ones who warn you about failure are often just protecting their own comfort with not trying. Let's talk about something that might make you uncomfortable. The price of keeping these people close. Because there is a price, and it's far higher than most of us. Every time you dim your light to make others comfortable, you're not just compromising your potential, you're betraying your purpose. Think about this. How many ideas have you left unexpressed because someone close to you might disapprove? How many dreams have you postponed because someone important to you thought it wasn't the right time? How many parts of yourself have you hidden because someone in your life wouldn't understand? The most expensive real estate in the world isn't in New York or Tokyo or London. It's the space between your ears. And yet, how many of us rent out that space for free to people who fill it with their doubts, their fears, their limitations? Let me be very clear about something. The people who don't believe in magic will never find it. The people who don't believe in possibilities will never create them. The people who don't believe in dreams will never achieve them. And if you keep these people too close, their disbelief will become your reality. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is crucial. Removing these influences from your life doesn't require dramatic confrontation. It doesn't need a big announcement or a final showdown. Sometimes the most powerful changes happen quietly through small decisions made consistently. It's about learning to say no without explaining yourself. It's about not sharing your dreams with people who have proven they can't handle them. It's about protecting your energy with the same dedication you'd protect any other valuable resource. Think of it this way. If someone consistently took money from your wallet, you'd stop giving them access to your wallet, wouldn't you? So why do we continue to give access to our energy, our dreams, our potential to people who consistently drain them? Here's a powerful truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Not everyone deserves to know your dreams, your plans, your next moves. Some people need to find out about your success after it happens, not during its creation. The energy consumers are particularly skilled at making their presence feel necessary. They've mastered the art of creating dependency. They make you feel responsible for their happiness, their stability, their emotional well-being. They're the ones who say, I don't know what I'd do without you. And they mean it as a compliment, but it's actually a warning sign. Then they're the possibility poisoners. These people have an incredible ability to find the flaw in every plan, the hole in every dream, the problem in every possibility. They call it being thorough, being careful, being responsible. But what they're really doing is projecting their own fears onto your future. You'll recognize them by their favorite phrases. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just being realistic. I just don't want you to get hurt. I'm just looking out for you. Notice how they always position their negativity as a service to you, as if they're doing you a favor by pointing out all the ways you might fail. They're not protecting you from failure. They're protecting themselves from having to confront their own unused potential. Your courage makes their caution look like what it really is: fear dressed up as wisdom. The status quo defenders are another group to watch out for. These are the people who have made peace with mediocrity and want you to do the same. They've convinced themselves that accepting limitations is the same as being mature. They mistake settling for stability. You'll hear them say things like, that's just how life is. You can't have everything. Be grateful for what you have. Don't rock the boat. These statements sound wise, don't they? They sound like the voice of experience, of maturity. But they're actually the voice of surrender, of compromise, of dreams abandoned and potential unexplored. Every relationship in your life is teaching you something. Sometimes the lesson is about what you want, and sometimes it's about what you'll no longer accept. The people who drain you are showing you where your boundaries need to be stronger. The ones who dismiss your dreams are showing you where your conviction needs to be deeper. Think about the conversations that leave you feeling heavy, confused, or doubtful. Notice how certain people have a way of making simple things complicated, clear things cloudy, and possible things impossible. These are not coincidences. These are signs. Your spirit is trying to tell you something. Listen, there's a profound difference between solitude and isolation. Solitude is choosing to be alone to nurture your spirit. Isolation is being alone because you're afraid of being hurt. As you begin to distance yourself from energy-draining relationships, make sure you're moving towards something, not just away from something. You might notice some interesting things happening as you start creating these boundaries. Some people will get angry. Some will try to make you feel guilty. Some will attempt to remind you of all they've done for you. Remember this, their reaction to your boundaries is not your responsibility. Their discomfort with your growth is not your burden to carry. Watch for the subtle manipulators, the ones who use phrases like, After everything I've done for you, I guess I just care too much. You've changed. You used to be more, and many of you, I used to be more. Remember when you were, these are attempts to pull you back into old patterns, to make you question your growth, to make their discomfort your problem. Don't fall for it. Your growth is not a betrayal. Your evolution is not an abandonment. Your self-respect is not an act of aggression. Start paying attention to the people who light up when you walk into a room, the ones who ask questions because they're genuinely interested, not because they're looking for flaws in your plans, the ones who remember what matters to you and check in on your progress. These are your people. This is your tribe. This is where your energy belongs. Learn to recognize the difference between people who want you to grow and people who just want you to stay reachable, between those who support your dreams and those who support you as long as your dreams don't threaten their comfort, between those who want you to succeed and those who want you to succeed only in ways they understand. Your growth will often feel selfish to those who are still trying to keep you small. Your boundaries will feel like rejection to those who benefited from you having none. Your success will feel like betrayal to those who are counting on your limits. Let them feel what they feel. Their feelings are not your guide. Remember that some people are in your life for a reason, others for a season. Not everyone who was part of your story is meant to be part of your destiny. Some people are meant to teach you what you don't want, show you what doesn't work, remind you of who you're not meant to be. As you continue this journey, keep this truth close. You can love people without giving them access to your spirit. You can forgive people without giving them access to your future. You can honor your history with someone without giving them access to your destiny. Your energy is your most valuable currency. Your attention is your most powerful vote. Your time is your most irreplaceable asset. Start investing these resources as carefully as you would invest your money. Start protecting these treasures as fiercely as you would protect your home. The world needs your light, your dreams, your potential, but it needs them in their fullest, brightest, most authentic form, not dimmed by others' fears, not filtered through others' limitations, not diluted by others' doubts. I will no longer shrink to make others comfortable. I will no longer dim my light to make others shine. I will no longer silence my truth to make others feel safe in their illusions. When you finally give yourself permission to shine, you give others permission to do the same. When you honor your potential, you show others what's possible. When you protect your energy, you teach others how to value their own. The journey ahead isn't about becoming someone new. It's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you. It's about shedding the layers of other people's expectations, removing the masks of other people's approval, breaking free from the prison of other people's limitations. Your time is now. Your permission is granted. Your path is clear. Shine. Become. The world is waiting for the gift that only you can give, the light that only you can shine, the dream that only you can bring to life. Don't let anyone convince you to wait, to shrink, to delay, to doubt. Your next breath is the beginning of a new story. Make it yours, make it true, make it magnificent, because you are not here to live down to other people's expectations. You are here to live up to your own potential, and that potential is calling you forward right now in this moment. Answer the call. Your time is now.